Hello students, standard 12th, chapter number 5, Indigo. The chapter is written by Louis Fisher. Let's see the introduction of Louis Fisher and then after we will see the summary of the lesson Indigo. Louis Fisher born on 1906 and he was dead in 1917. He was born in Philippines. He served as a volunteer in the British Army between 1918 to 1920. It means 2 years he served for his army, British Army. Fisher made a career as a journalist and wrote the New York Times, the Saturday Review, and for the European and Asian publications. He was also a member of the faculty of Princeton University. The following is an excerpt from his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. The book has been reviewed as one of the best books ever written on Gandhi by the Times Educational Supplementary. It means the writer belonged to another country, he belonged to British, and though he wrote about Mahatma Gandhi at the time, before our independence, before our freedom, and the book that he was written at that time, it was the very famous book all over the world, which was written on Mahatma Gandhi. Actually, as we know the title, then after we come to know that it is the lesson about India. So it's a pride for us. It is a very pride moment for us that a British man wrote about an Indian man. First of all, it was the pride of that. Second thing, it is the lesson about Mahatma Gandhi. How Mahatma Gandhi started different kind of movement, and as we know that Mahatma Gandhi many movement like the from the Sabarmati ashram he started the freedom movement, and before that he also served for the common people. One time he went to Champaran, a small district of Madhya Pradesh in Maharashtra, and then he showed that what was the situations of the farmer at that time. How was the people live at that time? As you know that the untouchability and many kind of mental disease that are spread on the public and the people's mind. So as we know that Mahatma Gandhi remove all the untouchability and that all the mental disease that are coming on that mind of the people. How he removed that and how he faced and how he felt the situation of the farmer at that time and which kind of deed he did for that we will see into this lesson. When I first visit, it is like an autobiography. So Mahatma Gandhi told himself that in a first person singular the story is written. So when I first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram, it means the person, it means the Louis Fisher, met Mahatma Gandhi first time at the ashram in the Sevagram in 1942 in central India. He said, I will tell you how happened that I decided to urge the departure of British. It was in 1917. He had gone to the December 1916 annual conversation of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. There was a last conversation between the Indian National Congress Party and Lucknow. There were 2,301 delegates and many visitors who are presented in the last conversation. So 2,301 delegates and many visitors are included in that conversation. During the proceeding, Gandhi recounted a patient came up to me looking like any other patient in India. Patient, it means a farmer. A person who worked in a farm as a laborer is known as the peasant. poor and emaciated and said, I am Rajkumar Shukla. It means the person came to Gandhiji, he introduced himself as a Rajkumar Shukla. I am from Champaran and I want you to come to my district. I want that you come to my district and show us that how we live. Gandhi had never heard of the place. Gandhi had never heard about the Champaran. It was on the foothill of the towering Himalaya near the kingdom of Nepal. Where is the Champaran situated? The Champaran is situated at the foothill of Himalaya and nearer to Nepal. Under an ancient agreement, the Champaran peasant were sharecroppers. Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. He was literate but resolute. He had come to the Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar, and somebody had probably said, speak to Gandhi. Actually, they are facing some problems in their district, and somebody suggested him that if you want to solve this problem, then go to meet the Gandhiji. Gandhi told Shukla he had an appointment in Kanpur, and he was also committed to go to other parts of India. Shukla accompanied him everywhere, whenever he went, Shukla was with him. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad, as we know that the Sabarmati ashram. Shukla followed him to the ashram for weeks. He never left Gandhiji's side. Fix a date, he begged. He pleaded to Gandhiji that please fix a date and come to visit to us. Impressed by the sharecropper's tendency and story, Gandhiji said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such date. Come and meet me and take me from there. I will be in Calcutta after some time. He gave some date to him and then also told to him that come at that date to Calcutta and then take to me in your city, it means in your Champaran. Impressed by months passed. Shukla was sitting in his house at the appointed spot in Calcutta where the Gandhiji will come. When Gandhi arrived, he waited till Gandhi was free. Gandhiji arrived at that time in Calcutta and he was waiting for him that when the Gandhiji became free, I will take to him to Champaran. He waited till Gandhi was free. Then the two of them boarded for a train, the city of Patna and Bihar. There Shukla led him to house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, later become president of the Congress Party of India. As we know that Dr. Rajendra Prasad was the president of Indian National Congress Party after our independence. So he was also a lawyer at that time and Shukla take him Gandhiji to there. Rajendra Prasad was out of the town, but the servants knew Shukla as the poor yeoman who presented their master to help the indigo sharpshooters. Actually, Rajendra Prasad was not in his town at that time when Gandhiji visited that, but his servants know him very well, Shukla. So they know that what was the situation and why Shukla come here. So they help him. So they led him to stay grounds with his companion Gandhi, whom they took to another patient. But Gandhi was not permitted to draw water from the well, lest some drops of his bucket pollute the entire source. How did they come to know that he was not an untouchable? Actually, at that time when Gandhiji and Shukla entered into the house, the servants are not happy with him. Because as we know that Gandhiji was a simple man at that time. He wore very simple clothes and at that time the servants thought that he was an untouchable person. It means we cannot touch him. At that time this kind of mental disease that I told you first line that were very increased. So they thought that he cannot take out the water from the well, he cannot touch to us. So untouchability was also faced by Gandhiji at the Champaran in the home of Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Gandhi decided to go First to Mirzapur, which was en route to the Champaran, to obtain more complete information about the condition than Shukla was capable imparting. At that time, Gandhiji only decided that now I will go to Champaran and see the whole situation with my eyes. He accordingly sent a telegram to Professor J.B. Kiran Palani of the Arts College in Mirzapur, whom he had seen at Tagore's Santiniketan school. The train arrived at the midnight on 15th April 1917. Kirpani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. It means many students were with him at that time. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malklani, a teacher in a government school. It was an extraordinary thing in those days. Any person came to stay with another person, it was an extraordinary thing. Gandhi commented, for a government professor to harbor a man like me in a smaller localities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates for home rule. The news of Gandhiji's advent and the nature of his mission spread quickly through Mirzapur and to Champaran. Sharecroppers from the Champaran began arriving on the foot and by the conveying to see their champion. Mirzapur lawyers called to Gandhi to brief him. It means they told the whole story in briefly to Gandhiji. They frequently represented peasant group in the court. It means they already fight for that, for the peasant in a court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of the fee. They also informed Gandhiji about the fees and the whole history about the case. Gandhi chilled the lawyers for the collecting big fee from the sharecroppers. Gandhi also told them that Gandhi also instructed to them, don't take a high fee from the lower person. He said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to low courts. Taking such cases to the court does little good, where the peasants are also crushed for fear-stricken, low courts are useless. The great relief for months is to be free from the fear. Most of them are arable land in Champaran district, was divided into large estate owned by the Englishmen and worked by the Indian tenants. The chief commercial crop was indigo at that time. The landlords compelled to all tenants to plant 3/20 or 15% of their holding with indigo and surrender the entire indigo harvest as rent. This was done by a long-term contract. It is a totally example of movie Lagan. If you see the Lagan movie, as you know that at that time what was the situation of the farmer, they have to pay their crop to the government. As the same situations the farmer, the peasant of the Champaran were facing. They have to give their 50%, 20 to 50% crop to the government, to the British Empire, to surrender entire indigo harvest as rent. If their farm was on the rest, they have to give entire farming crop. It was the contract between the peasant and the landlords. Presently, the landlords learned that Germany had developed synthetic indigo. They, Tiranton, obtained agreement from the sharecroppers to pay them compensation for being released from the 15% agreement. The sharecropping agreement was irksome to the peasant and many signed willingly. Those who resided engaged lawyers, the landlords hired tongues. Meanwhile, the information about the synthetically indigo reached the literate peasant who had signed and they wanted their money back. They want their money back from the landlords. At this point, Gandhi arrived in the Champaran. At that time, when they are facing many difficult situations, the peasants felt very hard time. At that time, Gandhiji entered into the Champaran. He began by trying to get this fact, and he come to know that which kind of situations were going on. First, he visited secretly to the British Landlords Association. They secretly told him that they could give no information about an outsider. They completely restricted the person that don't give my information to the employee that I will come here. I am coming here. And he secretly visited to the British Empire at that time. Gandhi answered that he was no outsider. Next, Gandhiji called the British official commissioner of the Turant division in which Champaran district lay. The commissioner, Gandhiji reports, proceeded to bully me and advised me worthwhile to leave the Tirhad. Gandhi did not leave. Instead, he proceeded to Motihari, the capital of Champaran. Several lawyers accompanied him at the railway station. A vast multitude greeted Gandhi. He went to house and using the headquarters, continued his investigations. A report came in that peasant had been maltreated into nearby village. Gandhi decided to go and see the next morning. He started out the back of an elephant. He had not proceeded far when the police superintendent's messenger overtook to him and ordered him to return the town in his carriage. When Gandhiji was not only completed or far away from the town, the superintendent messaged him to Gandhiji that come back with his carriage. Gandhiji complete. The messenger drove Gandhiji home, where he served him with an official notice to quit Champaran immediately. The official notice from the British Empire to Gandhiji was that to leave Champaran immediately. Gandhi signed a receipt for the notice and wrote on it that he would disobey the order. He signed but wrote the notice that he would disobey the order. It means I will not accept your order. In conscience, Gandhiji received a summon to appear in the court next day. Obviously, they will not give up. So they called Gandhiji in the court the next day. All night Gandhi remained awake. He was awake and he was intense that what will he do. The telegraphed Rajendra Prasad to come to Bihar in influential of friends. He sent the instruction to the ashram. He wired a full report of the victory. Morning found the town Motihari black with peasants. They did not know Gandhiji's record in South Africa. They don't know anything about Gandhiji, what he did in the South Africa and untouchability. He fight about that, against that, and he was a lawyer also. And they had merely heard of Mahatma Gandhi, who wanted to help, was in trouble with the authorities. The spontaneous demonstrations with in thousands around the courthouse was the beginning of their liberation from the fear of the British. The official felt powerless without Gandhiji's cooperation. He helped them regulate the crowd. He was polite and friendly. He was giving them contract to prove their might. Heathrow, dreadful, and then unquestionable. It means there is no question in that. Could be challenged by Indians. The government was baffled. The prosecutors requested judge to postpone the trial. Apparently, the authority wished to consult their superior. Gandhi protested against the delay. He read a statement pleading guilty. He was involved. He told the court in a conflict of duties. On one hand, not to set a bad example as a lawbreaker. On the other hand, to render the humanitarian and national service for which he had come. He disagreed for the order to leave. It means you can go there from there, not from the disrespect of the lawful authority, but the obvious, the higher law of our being, the voice of consciousness. He asked the plenitude. It means what was happened in the court. The magistrate announced that he would pronounce a sentence after a 2-hour recess and Gandhiji to furnish a bell those 120 minutes. Magistrate ordered him that he has to pronounce the sentence after 120 minutes. It means there was a break between the two sessions of the court. Gandhi refused. The judge released him without bail. There is no option to do that. What was happened with Gandhiji, that we will see into our next video. Have a nice day.